Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and this is a breakdown of the new trailer for The Marvels, the sequel to Captain Marvel, but also a sequel to WandaVision and to Ms Marvel. Really a movie that seems to be finally explaining what the hell the powers of these Marvel superheroes are. We did it, we got there. I'm gonna break down this trailer frame by flirkin' frame for all the details you might have missed so we can kind of figure out what's going on in this movie. Now, I guested on some very special episodes of The Break Room this week. Please go check them out, as well as my analysis of Jaws, my favorite movie to watch with my dad. You can see that over on the Deep Dive channel. Also, please know that SAG-AFTRA has informed us that entertainment journalism outlets like New Rockstars are allowed to analyze movies and TV shows. This video here is not a paid promotion, and we support the actors and the writers who are on strike right now. All right, let's get started.
Carol Danvers, prodigal child of the Milky Way.
Nick Fury, my favorite one-eyed man of intrigue.
How goes it out there?
Cold, no air, space.
Okay, the trailer opens with this call between Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, and with Nick Fury. The last time we saw Carol, other than that Ms Marvel post-credits scene, and that scene seems to take place during the events of this movie. Last time we saw her, Carol was joining Wang, Bruce Banner, Shang-Chi, and Cody on a conference call about the 10 rings. In general in the MCU, Carol's focus has been on interplanetary crises, not really on earthbound matters. Meanwhile, Nick Fury is currently finishing out his story arc on Secret Invasion, and I guess we can assume he's gonna survive those events. He's back in his eye patch here after spending most of the season with no eye patch. He did strap one back on at the end of episode 5 ahead of his final fight with the Skrull Gravik. This shot of a ship flying past the ring belt of a planet is really a mirrored version of a shot that we saw in the April trailer. Carol is now wearing a new Captain Marvel suit for this movie. In Shang-Chi, it was blue above the chest emblem. Now it's back to red on top and blue below, but it seems to switch back and forth throughout this movie. Nick Fury calls from the Saber space station that we saw a wide shot of in the last trailer. And on the station, all the cadets wear these white and black uniforms, which seems to inspire the suit that Monica Rambeau will wear as the superhero that she's going to evolve into in this movie, Photon. Carol answers her call from her kitchen nook on her ship. It includes a stove, some cookware, containing of gummy bears. Behind her, some A1 steak sauce, so she must hate herself. Also, some extraterrestrial plants that remind me of the plants that the Eternals kept on their ship, the Domo. Meanwhile, in Fury's suite, there's a couch corner with open laptops and what looks like a telescope. Maybe so he can look down at the Indian Ocean to see if Tiamat might ever blink, or maybe so that he can make sure his wife Priscilla ain't making tea for Mr. Postman. Carol's bookshelf is a photo of Maria Rambeau, Monica's mother, as well as a photo of the American Southwest, in an article about astronaut Monica Rambeau from the Magnolia Weekly. Local Louisianan shoots for the stars. I tried to make out the article. Here's what I could read. A local Louisianan woman has set her sights on the stars. After graduating from Rice University with a degree in psychology and physics and astronomy, Monica Rambeau, something. Next paragraph. Rambeau said that when she was 11 years old and something. Upload your trailers in 4K, Disney, for the love of God. Now, it's worth noting that when Monica was around that age, she actually played Uno cards with Gaia, Talos' daughter, Emilia Clarke's character in Secret Invasion. Also on Carol's shelf is a green book titled Lunar Mystery. And the only MCU lunar mystery I care about is whether Joaquin Torres' conspiracy theory is true that Steve Rogers is still alive living on the moon. This is a movie that can finally address it. Goose the Flurkin flips on a burner that boils water to brew some coffee. Good, not cat. Carol reports that she feels cold and airless in space, reminding us of the Avenger that she saved in a past movie, Tony Stark, who nearly froze and suffocated to death on a ship with Nebula. Next, there's a pretty crazy shot of Carol and Goose both floating in open space. Just a reminder that as a cosmic irradiated individual, she can survive in space, but in the past when she does this, she's been like glowing radiation as she does. And I guess Goose, as an alien Flurkin, just doesn't need oxygen or air pressure either. But really, this is just something the MCU fudges all the time. The moment you enter open space, without any pressure, your body should just like crumble. But whatever, it's a comic movie. Let's move on.
Captain Marvel, the Annihilator. You took everything from me. And now I'm returning the favor.
You probably noticed the Marvel Studios title card has the S transition into the sash of the Ms Marvel Kamala Khan insignia. Carol flies toward this floating formation of a diamond-shaped ship surrounded by 4 smaller versions of it, which seems to be the battle formation of the Kree general Dar-Benn, the villain in this movie played by Zawe Ashton. Dar-Benn in the comics is a Kree general who, along with Eldon, became joint emperors of the Kree Empire for a time, and they created an android version of the Silver Surfer. But in this movie, Dar-Benn is a member of the Accusers, part of the same order of Kree militant extremists as Ronan the Accuser from Guardians of the Galaxy in the first Captain Marvel film, which is why in this movie, Darben carries a similar Cosmi rod, but she calls Carol the Annihilator, which is really interesting because the Annihilators were a group of heroes from the Abnett and Lanning run of the Marvel Comics in 2011 following the Annihilation Wave storyline and the Cancerverse invasion. Cosmo the Space Dog aims to fulfill the dream of the fallen Star-Lord with a new galactic dream team that includes Quasar, Silver Surfer, Ronan the Accuser, Beta Ray Bill, Gladiator, and Icon aka Space Knight. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 introduced Phyla, and in the comics, Phyla Vel becomes a version of Quasar. So I don't know, there might just be a few clues here that this movie could finally introduce the Silver Surfer to the MCU. And since the Silver Surfer is normally known as the Herald of Galactus, we know what that would mean. Nom 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 nom. Darben uncovers the other bangle, the one that goes on the other wrist. It seems to be covered in space dust on the outside, but on the inside, clean as a whistle. This bangle is on Darben's left arm, whereas Kamala's bangle's on her right. This bangle found its way to Kamala after her great-grandmother, an outcast from the Nor dimension, found this bangle on a severed blue arm. Kree are sometimes blue-skinned, and they found this in ruins in the Indian subcontinent, marked with the symbol of the 10 rings. So one wonders if the bangles and the 10 rings were both ancient Kree technology that found their way to Earth. When Darben hammers her bangle with the Cosmi rod, a purple pillar of energy beams up from it, which could be a rift through space-time or through dimensions, like the one Kamala's bangle was capable of opening. Hey, remember when all those villains in Ms Marvel turned into ash skeletons like they were in an Indiana Jones movie? Yeah, that happened in the MCU. All right, let's move on.
What is happening to me?
Yeah, I love how this trailer edits the music of the Beastie Boys Intergalactic so that as Darben pops on that bangle, we hear the distorted Another Dimension. The song is re-edited though so that we hear one punctuated version of these Another Dimension every time we cut to a new Marvel in the section. The three are cosmically entangled in this film. Carol swaps into Kamala's room, Kamala swaps into Monica's spacesuit, and presumably Monica will swap to wherever Carol was. And already we should be pretty concerned because as Monica floats toward a glitched hexagonal portal of the UNTN grid that we've seen in past MCU movies, she reaches out to touch it and her bare hand is in open freaking space outside of her spacesuit. So really it's the CMBR, cosmic microwave background radiation that we learned about in WandaVision. It's the electromagnetic field that comes all the way back from the Big Bang that makes up the grid and links these women together so that Carol's gloveless hand connects through space-time with Monica's hand to make it seem temporarily exposed to space. And notice for all three, it is the right hand, the arm that Kamala has the bangle on, that does this. It's an entanglement cursed on them by Darben using the other bangle. Moving on. Now, people who only know me from watching my videos are sometimes surprised to learn that I am more than just a nerdy torso. It's true, I have legs. I know it's weird to see them, kind of like seeing a Muppet, but if I'm leaving the Blue Dungeon to go to the park or a friend's house or a pool, those legs need pants. Specifically, bird dogs. Bird dogs look and feel so good. Their stretched khaki shorts fit slimmer through the thigh and the leg to make you look sculpted. Thank you so much, bird dogs. See, most shorts are made with stiff, restricting cotton, but not bird dogs. They use a cloud knit fabric that looks like khaki but moves better, fits slimmer, and wicks away sweat so you can stay cool, dry, and good looking all day long. And if you go to birdddogs.com/newrockstars or use the code newrockstars at checkout, you'll get a free Yeti style tumbler with your order. Awesome! Once again, that's birdddogs.com/newrockstars or use the code newrockstars at checkout to get a free tumbler with your order. You won't want to take your bird dogs off, we promise you.
She's entangled our light-based powers.
So we switch places whenever we use them.
Strong theory.
You can absorb light,
I can see it.
and Kamala,
Who's Kamala?
Hi. She can turn light into physical matter, which I have never heard of.
Okay, we see New York from the Jersey City side of the river. That's Kamala Khan's neighborhood. And inside the Khan living room, Carol sees her hand moment after a swap with either Monica or with Kamala, as director Anita Costa does a reverse dolly zoom to show Carol readjusting to her space in the room. Monica lands on the furniture and notice there are Kree soldiers, probably part of Darben's accuser order, attacking. But if you look closely at the shot of Monica, it is Goose's tendrils on the right side of frame that these Kree are actually scrambling away from. Both this trailer and the last trailer seem to re-edit what the actual swaps will be in the movie, just in the trailers to give us a clearer sense of this cosmic handcuff conceit. So here Monica punches and it syncs with Kamala landing beside a wall of hard light on the Saber space station, but those might be from different parts of the movie. We see a shot of Carol flying above that planet where she approached Darben's diamond-shaped ships before, with a purple hexagonal grid in the sky behind her. So in general in this movie, it seems like the UNTN transportation grid is broken, it's shut down, because the cosmic radiation that enables that grid also enables fuels these three Marvels. It's the same kind of radiation source, and they've been glitched by Devin so that no one in the MCU right now can light speed jump into Earth's coordinates to help us. It's put the entire universe known in the MCU in a very dangerous spot. Monica explains that Carol can absorb light, Monica can see it, and Kamala can turn light into physical matter. Of the three, I gotta say, based off this description, Monica's ability to just see the light is kind of the short straw. We did see her ability to see the radiation from her point of view in WandaVision after she passed through that hex wall, but I think she's selling herself short because remember, her body was also capable of phasing bullets through her torso, so maybe that can be explained by her just ability to see the bullets as radiation and her own body as radiation, kind of like Neo, able to see the lines of code making up everything in the Matrix and using that knowledge to stop bullets. Also in the living room, you can see that Kamala is holding a tablet that seems to show her bangle, as they are all trying to figure out what this bangle is and how it works exactly. All right, on to the next clip.
I could totally show you.
No!
So Kamala, eager to prove herself to these heroes, fires up her bangle and immediately swaps with Carol as Carol was flying, so that Carol now crash lands in the living room and Kamala appears in the sky, falling to her death. On her shirt are 2 issues of Captain Marvel comics. It seems to show Captain Marvel number 18, but the layout of the cover doesn't really match any released Captain Marvel comics, at least in our reality. But there is an issue of number 18 in the Captain Marvel comics in 2019 where she wields the Cosmi Rod. It seems like they just designed new ones. So at this point in the breakdown, I'm not going to continue showing trailer clips with the audio because they have too much Beastie Boys music in it and we don't want to get flagged for that, but I'm just going to analyze what we see and hear. In the shots of New York in this trailer, we do not see Avengers Tower anywhere. Trust me, we looked. Ever since Far From Home, I have been scanning every New York skyline in every MCU title that's set near New York, and I'm telling you, right now, these MCU titles are just avoiding establishing any new continuity with the current status of Avengers Tower. Normally in the MCU, it's in the position of the real-life MetLife building in Midtown Manhattan, right by Grand Central Station. In recent months, I've speculated that it could be Kang variant Mr. Griffin who took it over based off the fact that there was a pruned Kang QENG tower in the void. But we've also been hearing some rumors that Avengers Tower could be a Mephisto deal. Don't tempt me, not today, Mephisto. Okay, we see the UNTN crisis over this new planet that we talked about in the last trailer breakdown that I think is Ladmia. That's the planet from Captain Marvel number 9 in 2014, based on Prince Yan being in this movie. That's a planet where people speak in rhymes, and historically, women choose men to be their mates, kind of in a Sadie Hawkins situation. Here we see water from Ladmia's ocean sucking up into the broken hexagonal grid. Carol confronts Devin with the Cosmi Rod, and it looks like one of Devin's teeth is metallic. Interesting. Then a shot of Devin looking intense with the Cosmi Rod, stepping up on a cliffside as we hear Carol saying she's targeting every planet we call home. So I guess that would mean Earth, and Earth. Yeah, probably also Hala and Ladmia. It just seems like Carol has homes everywhere. But this cliffside, if it's not a different planet, kind of looks like the cliffs of New Asgard in Norway. So will we see a second Ragnarok in this movie? Like if you're Devin trying to take out galactic enemies to the Kree Empire, the people of Asgard might be on her hit list. A lander tumbles through the air over the city, and inside you can see Flurkin tendrils pressed against the glass. And this lander flies past the Statue of Liberty, which is bronze colored. And I love this bit of continuity here because in Spider-Man No Way Home, the statue was deoxidized from green to bronze, and Captain America's shield was added. Remember, during that No Way Home battle, the shield fell off the statue, yet the statue kept its bronze color. And actually, in Ms. Marvel on Disney Plus, originally when it premiered in June 2022, establishing shots of the Statue of Liberty showed it back to its normal green. But sometime since then, when you check it now on Disney Plus, they swapped in new VFX to make it bronze. They fixed it so that it better matches this movie, I assume. I'm just fascinated whenever they do this. But if you look closely at the upper left corner of that copper statue, it looks like she is back holding the shield above her head. You can see the corner of the shield in the corner. And I don't know if it's just me, but it kind of looks like Lady Liberty's eyes are now looking slightly more upward at it. Then on the Saber Station behind Nick Fury, one of the cadets is this yellow-skinned race, which we've seen in the MCU in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. These are called Aacons, some of whom are among the Ravagers, and in the comics are longtime enemies of the Kree Empire. Also notice the belt buckle of one of these cadets. You can see Saber's logo, which looks pretty much just like a dollar sign. It's an S with a thin sword running through it. We could probably afford a redesign Saber PR team. There's an interesting shot of Kamala in her normal clothes as this earthy background is shifting around her. Kind of looks like a place is being destroyed or terraformed. And notice this green-skinned alien fleas, maybe a Skrull. Brandon actually pitched that since Kamala can open rifts in space and time, she might be revisiting the destruction of the Skrull homeworld of Skrullos by the Kree Empire, something that the Secret Invasion opening titles has been depicting with AI. The people of Ladmia engage in a ceremonial dance as Prince Yan dances with and dips Carol Danvers. Rockstars. It seems like Prince Yan may be the current or former spouse that Carol took sometime in her past off-world. Monica tells Carol, "You are not the only thing standing between this and the universe." And they're beside this window that looks out on a rainy cityscape. I think this is the Kree homeworld of Hala that we saw in the 2019 Captain Marvel film. But the question I have is, what is this? Is it just Dar-Ben's threat or something greater? And in the universe, does that mean just the other two Marvels? Or are there other cosmic teammates from places other than Earth that Monica is hinting at, like Silver Surfer, Nova, Blue Marvel, Quasar, Legendary Star-Lord, other members of the Guardians of the Galaxy? Mantis! The Marvels fight a group of Kree accusers in their traditional headgear, kind of looks like an attempted assault on a Ladmia. Then a group of Flurkin kittens float around the Saber space station. Does the space station lose artificial gravity at some point? Is it gonna crash? In space, Carol flies away from the ship, which looks like the large diamond-shaped Dar-Ben mothership that we saw earlier in the trailer. Then 3 great hero shots of each hero. Carol, after smashing through some Kree warships on the Aladna coast. Monica, glowing in a powerful light, her eyes now glowing white, saying higher, setting up the other two to complete Carol Danvers' higher, further, faster catchphrase that she and Monica's mother Maria shared. I think this is a moment Monica will complete her transformation into the hero Photon, and it's a power that she will share with her mother, not just by using her call sign of Photon, but really a cosmic connection, as Maria was Captain Marvel in another universe. Kamala pulls off a great move of casting hard light to create a smooth, frictionless slide for herself to kick a Kree soldier. She also uses this in the next shot, where the 3 of them team up against Dar-Ben. Kamala creates platforms for Monica to lily pad across. Carol has the Cosmi Rod here, but remember Dar-Ben has the other bangle, and that seems to be the ultimate weapon. Okay, on to the final clip.
Who's a good kitty, Gus?
I can't. Can you?
I got it.
Yeah, I love how they use the Beastie Boys' Shout on the Flurkin grab. Intergalactic really is the best song choice of this because it's a team of 3 having to come together to synchronize on a rhyme at the end of each verse. And in this final shot, it seems like Carol has changed her Captain Marvel suit yet again. Now it is blue on top. Let me know what your favorite part of this trailer is and what you're most looking forward to from this movie. Subscribe to all 3 channels in the New Rockstars network, and we'll see you next time. Bye.